Okay. All right. Are we all on? I think we are. Okay, welcome everybody. My name's Bill Ias from the uh, Bluegrass Club of Long Island and the Babylon Citizens Council on the Arts, and we're here with Joe Newberry and a bunch of other banjo nerds. No offense, banjo nerds, but you know who you are. Um, and thanks, Joe, so much for coming. We have, let's see, where did everything go? Everything disappeared. On the arts, and we're here. Hold on, sorry. Technical difficulties. Alrighty. So I'm going to start off by sharing my screen, and we're going to have a piece fly around. Fly around my pretty little miss, and it's
Right.
in Newberry.
And hey, Bill,
Yep.
you might want to mute everybody because I think it might start a little.
Yeah. Maybe if everybody could mute themselves, and then I'll do it for you if you want. Oops. Hold on. I muted you, Joe. But look, you can leave yours on. Alrighty. Usually I'm a little smoother at this. Sorry.
Fly around my pretty little miss, fly around my daisy, fly around my pretty little miss, you darn near run me crazy. Some people in the audience laugh and some don't. Fly around my
Yeah, man. That was awesome. Let's Okay, so we're here with Joe Newberry, but first I'm going to introduce Sean Cullinane, and he's going to talk a little bit about why we're here and what's going on.
Hey, Bill. Hey, Joe. How you all doing?
Good.
And good to see everybody on with our link tonight. On behalf of the Babylon Citizens Council on the Arts, I just want to say thank you for everybody for participating in the 18th annual Long Island Bluegrass and Roots Festival this year. Of course, it's an unusual year, and we won't get into all that, but we made the best of it, and we put together an outstanding and exciting program. I want to give a particular shout out to Bill Ias and Chuck Moses for doing all the technical work, making sure all this stuff flows and gets together. I have to thank a few other people, including Bill and Chuck, Susan Christian, Alice Cramini, Liz Mararki, and yours truly for putting together the Bluegrass Committee this year and making sure that everything came together. And just a note out to our major partners, including the County of Suffolk, Suffolk County Legislature, for sponsoring this event, and Town of Babylon, and also our sponsors through the New York State Council on the Arts, and ultimately we have some funding from the National Endowment on the Arts. So we got a broad range of people that help us out, and support the Bluegrass Festival program. Susan will tell you a little bit more about Bach in maybe a few minutes, but we just want to say thank you for everybody for being here. I'm going to throw it back over to Bill, and if I forgot something, we'll talk about it a little later. But excited to see Joe and learn a few things, and I'm joining the Banjo nerds tonight. So thanks a lot.
All I have in my house is a banjolin. Actually, that's not true. I have three of them, and what I do with a banjolin is I buy them, and I put them in the back of my crawl space, so nobody actually plays them. That's my goal. The banjolin should never be played. It's just something. Every time I see one for sale, it's $80, $100. I buy it, I hide it. So that's my contribution to the world. Next up in our concert series, we have Buddy Miriam and Backroads, which is Saturday at 8 o'clock. You can go to libluegrassfestival.org and you can get the link for that. And that's going to be on YouTube. It's the same concept. It's a YouTube meeting, and we have a pre-recorded performance, which was performed at the Baca Center, the Babylon Citizens Council on the Arts Center, which is a great place. If you've never been there, I highly recommend seeing a concert or show or a play or a musical there. They have a great setup. So Susan, what do you got for us before we start with Joe?
Babylon Citizens Council on the Arts is a wonderful organization. We put on a lot of shows like the Long Island Bluegrass and Roots Music Festival. We host the Paumanaki Powwow every summer, which is a lot of fun for the family. And we have art classes. We have at the Arts Center, we have book signings, we have concerts, we have a theater group that counts us as in their residency at the Arts Center. And we have juried art shows and all manner of arts and cultural events in the town of Babylon. The Bluegrass Festival is more than just in the town of Babylon. We host national touring acts and local acts and regional acts. So joining Baca is easy. Donating to Baca is easy. We have donate buttons all over our site. And if you go to Long Island Bluegrass, libluegrassfestival.org, there's a donate button right there if you want to help out Baca. All these events are free, and we can't keep the music playing without you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, with words of wisdom from all the way from North Carolina, via YouTube and Zoom, welcome, Joe Newberry.
Thank you, Bill, and thank you everybody for showing up. I have a question and this is the folks watching on YouTube. You can raise your hand, but I won't see it. But for the folks on the Zoom call, how many of you have taken from me in person? There you go. So you know that in person, I run what is called a noodle-free zone, which is that when I'm talking, you're not playing, and when I ask you to play, then I'm actually listening. The beautiful thing about Zoom, and I was telling Bill and Sean beforehand, we're adaptable creatures, and so that's actually a cool thing about a Zoom. If you have your sound, if you're muted, you can play. You can play as much as you want to. I want everybody to unmute because I want to go around and because every gallery view is different. I'll call on you. Two things. If I ask you something, if I ask you to demonstrate something, if I ask you to play, it's just us. And so once you cross that, either the real threshold or the digital threshold, it's just us. So don't worry about playing for somebody. So Sean, I'll start out asking you how do you play bluegrass usually?
No.
No. Do you play old time banjo?
No,
You're a beginner, a novice.
I'm a beginner novice. I enjoy the music, and when I saw a banjo for sale, I said, "Let's grab it and try to learn some." So,
You're
the,
my kind of guy. Thank you
so
for that.
I've gotten the banjo chord book, and that's where I'm at.
This is awesome. You're going to be doing a lot of muted playing, and so we'll get everybody up and running, and a lot of what I say tonight is going to sound like the adult voices on Peanuts. It's going to like shop wah 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 banjo wah 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 wah. That's okay. That's it. So we'll get you up and running, and let you practice the claw hammer motion. So. Susan, how long have you been playing? And you got to remember to unmute. You got
Sorry.
to. There you go. Hi.
I guess I've been playing about 6 years or so, but I play a lot of other instruments. So when I picked this up, it was very easy for me to fall into it. However, my background is not in bluegrass and it's not really in clawhammer, although I've tried that a few times. I play, I guess, what you'd call roots. I play in a band that does a lot of 60s pop, and I play it on the banjo. And
Banjo works surprisingly well on a lot of different kinds of music. So hopefully, what we can do is give you a couple of tips and techniques to make it even more fun for you to play with the folks you've been playing with. I'm glad you're here.
yeah, that's why I was hoping.
Cool. Jean,
Yes.
I didn't mean to bust your identity, but I'm sorry. iPad 2.
Yeah.
How long have you been? I know that you've been working with my friend Maria Fairchild some.
Yeah. It was sort of like disjointed. I started about 5 years ago, and then she left and went to North Carolina. She left me.
I came
And
back.
I've only been back, I guess, what, this year, March, just around the time of the COVID, right?
Early this year,
Early this year,
or
right?
beginning of the year. Yeah.
Right. So I don't know if I guess I'm still a beginner. I don't know. I'm still trying to do the thumb thing.
As about you've just described my entire musical life, Jean. Right there. I'm still a beginner, and I'm trying to do the thumb thing, and some days I'm luckier than others. So I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're with us. And Maria Fairchild, we miss you here in North Carolina.
Hey,
Oh.
how are ya?
Doing all
Yeah,
right.
a lot of great music there. Some good
Yes, ma'am.
friends there, and I sure do like the climate up here.
I hear you.
I just could not take it.
It is. It was 84 here today.
Ooh.
And-
Yeah, not for me.
Yeah, but I'm honored that you're here, Maria. You're a beautiful player, and
Thank you.
You know, just
nice.
hang, and if you hear anything that I do that you like, you already know it anyway. So, but I'm glad.
No, I have a very specific question for you.
All right, we can do it now, so I can be cogitating on it.
Oh, well, I'll just tell you what it is then.
Okay.
It seems to me that you do a lot of double thumbing, just wailing away on the fifth string.
I do.
And that does not allow you to drop your thumb and get melody notes. So I'm wondering how you get it's got to be down to hammer-ons and pull-offs.
Sometimes actually, when I discovered the power of double thumbing, I was playing a dance, and the third note of the dance, my fifth string broke. And so I played everything until I could sit down and change out. I played everything sort of just clubbing at it and doing. That's how art happens. It's desperation. But we can talk a little bit about that and the double thumbing and the drop thumbing melody notes, but also just keeping the tune percolating along. So I'll be thinking about that.
Okay.
Hello, Paul Bryant Smith.
Hey, Joe. So yeah, I've been playing about 20 years now. Not particularly well, but I have fun with it. And I tend to do clawhammer in the folk and in the maritime world.
It fits really well, doesn't it?
It does. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's great. Clawhammer especially is great for accompanying singing. Over the last 25, 30 years, that style of round peak playing, that real notey slidey, it's given the impression that that's the only kind of old time banjo playing, and there's a lot of different kind of old time banjo playing. Kentucky with a two finger style with an up brush, that right around Galax, that all it is rhythm pushing forward, but boy is it exciting. So there's a lot more than just that sort of notey North Carolina stuff, which I love. Don't get me wrong.
It's all good.
Hello, Donna.
Hello, Joe. Hi, everybody. I've been playing for about 9 years, strictly clawhammer. I guess right now I'm trying to take my playing into like melody lines up the neck a little more, and trying to diversify away from the bum ditty all the time. Something different.
Cool. Well, we'll have an exercise within the first couple of tunes that'll lead you a little bit away from the bump ditty, and if it freaks you out a little bit, bump ditty's always right there for you.
Good.
All right.
Hey, thanks.
I'm glad you're here. It's good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you too.
Yes, ma'am. Hey, Bruce.
Hi. Forgot to unmute myself.
Where do you live, Bruce?
I live about a mile from Bill Ayers, so east of Talcott, New York.
Cool.
Been playing bluegrass banjo for about 50 years, 45 years, something like that. And mostly guitar and bass. I played in a bunch of bluegrass bands over the years. I play in a band with Bill now. He's been with us for a bunch of years.
Cool.
I played bass in that band, but I've always, kind of noodled with old timey music, but never really have had the time or the effort to put into it. And I'm retired now, so I'm noodling around. I got a banjo that's set up, for old timey playing. I've been trying to play more than just chords and rhythm, but that's something I haven't conquered yet either.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because having both styles at your disposal is great. And Ralph Stanley, of course, did in every show Ralph ever did, he would do a clawhammer number or two that his mother played clawhammer banjo.
Yeah, I saw Ralph many times. Yeah,
and I've sort of made it my life's work to make sure that folks know that you've got old time music, you've got bluegrass music, folk music, you've got music, and it's all good. It all has worth. I think that we've all, if we can all sort of come a little bit more to the center about the fact that there is worth from both sides, and I've heard a bunch of really unbelievably great old time music. I've also heard a bunch of really not so great. Two things. That sort of parking lot picking it's sort of what people think of often when they think of old time music is sort of rough and you can find high level stuff. I've heard a bunch of bad bluegrass too, and I just saw you smile. So yeah. So but the thing about whether you're playing or there's something cool about being able to play the banjo.
Yeah.
And and I like the fact that whether somebody like Sean or somebody like Maria, somebody like me who's been playing longer, or somebody who's playing a short amount of time, or Gene, you have as much fun as I do. There's at the end of a tune, when we get done with a tune, when you're in a session, there's a little subtle that happens. And it happens in bluegrass too. Tune gets done and everybody goes.
Yeah, right.
You kind of bounce in your chair for a minute, and everybody says, "What a great tune!" And that is what I like. That is what I like. So let's do a couple of. I want to double check on Zoom things, just a couple of things, and then I'll play for you, and we'll get into tunes because we've been blah blah blah. I've been blah blah blahing a lot. So if you have not gone up to your top left, and Gene, I know on an iPad it's different, but if you've not gone to your top left and turned on original sound, if you scroll your mouse up there, and there should be a little box, a little rectangle that says turn off original sound. If you click on it and it turns blue, that means original sound is on, because Zoom is configured usually for voice. And if you turn on original sound, then Banjo will sound a lot better. If you can't find it, if you can't find turn on original sound, then if that's the worst thing that happens to us tonight, it's going to be all right. So everybody go ahead and mute yourselves, and then I'll play a little something. I'll tell you what I'm playing. All right. I'm going to start out for Sean, because this is what I want you to be working on tonight. And so we'll do a little bit of the old shortening bread, and it's the shortening bread that we grew up with as kids. And so I'm going to start on the 5th fret, 1st string, 2nd fret, and I'm going to do that a few times, and then I'm going to go, which is, yes indeed, 3 Blind Mice. So here's a little bit of shortening bread, and then for folks who've been playing longer, I'll show you a way to put it through a different kind of filter. So all of that to say that if you can get happy in the knowledge of being just as happy doing this as doing this, then that's a great place to start, because this has just as much worth as anything else. Now, as I went through that tune, what I was adding things. I added some double thumbing for Maria. I added some, I call it single stringing. I don't know what anybody else in this world calls it, but for Donna, I added single stringing, which is going back and forth between a particular string and the 5th string, just one after the other. Instead of the bump ditty, I was doing this. And a good exercise is to not wonder, when do I put the single stringing in? Do I put it in just as a little turnaround? A good exercise is every time you hit a note, you hit a 5th string, so it would sound like in the second part. So in the except for Sean, everybody's got the bump ditty pretty good. Everybody's got the bump ditty. I know. Well, I'm Marie. I know. Yeah. So, Sean, it's you and me for a second, buddy. There you
Ready?
go. So, do you know the three? Do you know the bump ditty sound?
No.
Okay. So, this is great because this is my favorite kind of person to teach, and we're going to do it quick because we got other folks here who already know how to do it. So, I want you to think of this as a drum. Hold it up and let me see it. That's your drum. That's your stick. It's all it is. It's a stick and a drum. What I want you to do is I want you to think of this so as a single entity. And I want you to hit just like a stick, a club. I want you to hit that first string. It's 5, 4, 3, 2. That string there, that's your first string. I want you to hit that first string, just that string only. Just that one string. That's good. Now I want you to hit that the 3 strings above that and in sequence, and I'll show you first. Hold on. It sounds like this. That's good. Now I want you to look at my hand because I'm going to hit that first string. Then I'm going to hit those other 3 strings. And look where my thumb is. It's right resting on top of the 5th string. And think of it like falling over a cliff, just like Wile E. Coyote. And there's that little spindly tree that catches him. That's what your 5th string is. It's catching your thumb. So you do this. And there your 5th string is ready to be plucked. So the motion, don't play, but listen. The motion is da, 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 da. So say it first.
Da, 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 da.
I want you to sing it back to me. Da, 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 da.
Da, 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 da.
And now I want you to pull all that together. You've got all the elements. I want you to go da, 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 da.
Da, 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 da.
That is the sound of your future right there, buddy. That's it right there. And so I want you to do that. I want you to do that for I want you to do it for 5 times. And then I'm going to get you practicing on your claw hammer. But da 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 da, do that.
Da 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 da.
All right. So now what I want you to do is I want you to think that, but I want it to come out your right hand. Don't think about it too much. Just play it. Welcome to the club, brother.
Yep.
Okay.
Practice.
All right. So what I want you to do is I want you to mute, and I want you to do that. And then, do you watch sports on TV ever? Do you ever watch football or anything like that?
On occasion, sure.
I want you to turn the sound down on the TV, and I want you to sit there and watch the game, but do that. That's your homework.
All right.
And and I'll check back in with you for a little bit, but that's exactly right. You sang it, you heard it, and you translated it. Basically, you're done with me now because you own that sound.
Okay.
So mute, and we'll move on, and we'll do some single stringing. All right. So when I teach banjo, I view what I play as a platform. And as long as I have this as the platform, there's my platform. That's the bass. But what I can do is I can add to that. So the first time through, I would do just that claw hammer motion. Adding to that platform would be a pull-off. everybody is muted. Let's try that. 2, 3, 4. Again. 9 more times. A little slower, I get excited. Two more. All right. Hey, Gene. Unmute here.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you grok, to quote Heinlein, did you grok what I said
I did.
about the pull off? Can you
I
move
did.
your camera down a little bit so I can see your banjo? Perfect. All right. Great. Now can you do that pull off thing I was doing? Do it one more time. I liked what you did very much, and I'll tell you what I liked even more. And that is that you messed up in the middle and you caught yourself and you said, I could hear you go, no, that's not it.
I do that all the time with Maria.
Listen, that is what I want to hear. That is what I want to hear a student say. If I hear a student do this, no, no, then I know that it's in your head and you know where you're supposed to be. And ultimately, I mean, I like being here with you, but ultimately, if you can hear that in your head, then that's where learning takes place. And whether there's somebody teaching in front of you or not, you're going to get it.
Thanks.
So cool.
Yep. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Mute now. I'm going to go on. I'm going to go on to Bruce. Cool. Does that all make sense?
Yeah. Just play it, or
Yeah, just play it. Just play it. I like the slide. Cool. On the three blind mice part, throw in a little single stringing back and forth between each of those strings and the fifth string. I'm not going to show it to you. I want to see if you can conceptualize what I just said.
something like that.
Do it again. Yes. Yeah, but I like what you did. Because what you did is you built on, it was a different part of the platform, but you were still on the platform. All of this stuff is where you're fitting in time and space. And if you do something that fits in that time and space, I'm cool with you in experimenting with that, because that's how you become your own player. So that was great.
Yeah, I'm trying not to, superimpose bluegrass licks, which is all I know for the most part. But it's still that different, that rhythm.
Okay, so here's I said before. I think before we got up and running, here is where it really lives for me. Go ahead and play it the way and throw something bluegrassy in, and let me, because I might steal something. Just don't think about it too much. Just try something. I mean, clawhammer style, but. I'll steal that anytime, and that's how it works.
Can I say something?
Yes, of course, Maria.
I played for several years with Bill Ayas and George and Julie Canova, and our band was called the Long Island Bluegrass Quartet. And there I am playing clawhammer, but I'm bluegrassing it up. Because
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, Maria's great at it because I played a bunch of gigs with Maria.
Yeah, it was great playing with Bruce.
Well, I was at Mount Airy Fiddlers Convention one time, and I had been on stage in the banjo contest. And I happened to be playing in A on the contest, and I was walking back to my camp. There's this freight train, big bluegrass session. I mean, it was howling. There were maybe 30 people there, and I'm walking by, and they're in A as well. They're playing some tune in A or song in A, and there was a guy. He turns around, and he saw I was playing sort of in the back, just playing along, and he had a Winston 100 hanging out of his mouth, and he turned and he said, "Take one, Claw." And so Claw took one, and it worked out okay. So yeah. I mean, really and truly, and I think that over the last few years, there's been more back and forth. Whenever I play a show and there's a bluegrass banjo player, they'll come up often and they'll say, "God, I love what you do," and I'll say, "Well, I love what you do," and that's a good place to be. So. Hey, Susan, why don't you give me a little something? Maria, don't forget to mute so we don't start the circular.
Well, I don't claw hammer, so this is going to be weird. Let's see what I can do here. I was trying to do that.
I heard you get there. It took you a second, but I heard you get there. Pull your camera down a little bit if you can, so I can see what your right hand is doing, because it's fascinating. What
I told you, I just play what I play. I wear one of these guys.
So did Roscoe Holcomb. That's okay.
Sloppy.
Look. There's enough going on there that I would probably want to sit down with you and figure out what you're doing, because that is a very cool thing. I mean, you know how the clawhammer motion sounds, yeah?
Yes.
So if in your free time, if you want to practice this 15 minutes a day, make sure you're on a level stage, because you'll drool out of both sides of your mouth. But you want to do bum diddy bum diddy bum diddy bum diddy. If you have trouble remembering that, you could say Newberry, Newberry, Newberry. An old joke, but a good joke. But I like what you're doing, and that's the thing, is that old time banjo. If you don't call everything old time banjo clawhammer, because it's not old time banjo. There's a lot of. There's lots of thumb lead.
And that's what I
do. So there's a whole wide world for you. But if you sit down and do a few minutes a day. That's the other thing. Do you leave your banjo set up and out, or do you put it in the case?
Oh, it's always out.
Good. That's because you never know when you might need to sit down and play a little bit.
I know.
Yeah. Hey, Paul, give me a little something there, Reverend.
Oh, gee, now you're outing me to the whole world.
What did you just do? Because that was very cool.
I missed.
You know what? You did it twice, and now it's jazz.
Exactly. What I wanted to do was a slide, but
We'll do it. So you were wanting to
with a hammer on to just hammer.
that?
What are you doing?
It's a little even thing, and sliding up to that matched note.
Now you got to pull off on there too.
Nope, no pull off, just a slide. That's it.
Okay.
All right. So if that is part of our platform, one of the things about playing banjo for me is whatever goes up can come down. So if you're doing this, you can also slide down. If you were putting it in bluegrass terms, it would be anchoring your finger on the second fret, third string, and doing a hammer on. You know.
Right.
But boy, I'll tell you what, you've got a great lick on it, Paul. And sorry, didn't mean to out you. I didn't. You know.
It's okay. I don't mind.
Okay. Well, I appreciate
Yeah,
I appreciate what you do in this world.
Oh, thank you. So long as you don't start addressing me as Your Holiness or anything, will be good.
No. I shall not. I shall not. Hey, Donna.
I'll mute myself. Hi. Can you see my banjo at all?
I cannot.
How does it?
There's your banjo.
That's better. Okay.
Yeah. So you can do the pull-offs right away, can't you?
I can. Yeah.
So maybe you do all single stringing.
Okay. I want to do that roll. So.
Then do it.
Okay. This is how I play.
I like that second part. Play that second part one more time.
Like that?
I like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll play the whole thing.
Okay.
Yay. So I heard you dropping your thumb. So Maria. If you break the fifth string, see, I give myself these silly little tasks where I think, well, what would happen if I just did everything?
So you're using your second string like the fifth string.
Yes. Yeah. The concept of the drone string, it just needs to be a string in opposition to the string that's being played. Yeah. So that second string, there's that same motion. It's just very, very wee, very truncated. It's what the gnomes play. That's it. So a good practice tune for you on that, and you play Billy Cheatham, don't you?
Yeah.
So a good practice tune is Billy Cheatham, and in the second part, instead of always doing, try it a couple of times. That's it.
Okay.
Cool. So now my pals, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you something that will keep you from getting worn out playing. You know, it just wears you out to go from the fifth string to the second. Oh, I'm worn out. I'm so tired. So what we're going to do is we're going to instead of using this melody note on the first string, fifth fret, you've got that same note on the fifth string. So instead of going back and forth like this, we're gonna do a little Kyle Creed lick, or sometimes they call it a Galax lick. But you can here's the we'll start off actually by doing a hammer on, and I'll show you instead of going like this. We'll do a hammer on the second fret, first string. Clear as mud. Do you want me to do it a couple more times, like 9 more times? I'll do it and slow it down a little bit because I get so excited about this. So I'll slow it down a little bit. 2, 3, 4. So let's just try that. Is everybody muted? Yes. So we'll do a hammer on. Try just that much. And then a fifth string. Doesn't that just ring like a bell? So it would be after that fifth string. So at the end of that phrase, it's a pull off. Here's your pattern. Try just that much. 3, 4. 3, 4. 3, 4. We're going to do that one more time. 3, 4. All right, so going on from there. So a couple of quick pull-offs. So, if we want to simplify it a little bit. We'll do one pull-off. That's our platform. I'm going to play that about 10 times, and then we'll see if anybody wants to give it a try here on the old Zoom call. 3, 4. big finish. You know, Grandpa Jones always said, never make people wonder, have they started? And never make them ask, are they done? So when you get done, be strong when you start and be strong all the way through. If you ever watch old videos of String Bean or Grandpa Jones at the end of the tune, even in the back of a very, very crowded, long schoolhouse, you could tell when Grandpa was done because he'd do this. Always a good thing. So, would anybody like to, and you'll have to raise your hand, anybody like to try a little bit of that hammers on, that hammer on? Touch your nose if you do, that way I'll know, or raise your hand, or... Paul? Bruce? Bruce, then Paul.
Okay.
I love the progression of that, and I love that little like rock and roll. It was great because you pushed all the way through it. Now don't think about it, just do it. Do it one more time. Don't think about it. That was great. And here's the thing about me that you need to know if you're working with me on banjo. I love to chat, and I'm a friendly guy. When I say something about music, I don't mess around with it. And when I say you sound great, I'm not BSing you. That sounded great. And I'll tell you the other reason why it was great is because in a session, you can't you're not the guy that's going to stop playing. You're going to keep doing it. And it's one of the beauties of this kind of music is it goes back around. If you fall off that pony, you can get right back on. So that was great. No lie.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to ask you. You were talking about Bill Cheatham before. I've been using that like the last couple of weeks. I finally got around to actually practicing doing this stuff, and it's hard to articulate the down stroke and the thumb stroke to give them the proper weight of
You mean on the double thumbing part?
Yeah, double thumbing or even the other parts, especially double thumbing. And do you rotate your hand, or do you just come down, or?
I actually stick pretty close to it. I don't rotate or do anything like I. That's pretty much all I do. It's hard even in person, but on Zoom it can be really hard. I used to watch older players. Now I am one, but I used to watch older players, and it's like, what in the hell are they doing? Because this is what clawhammer banjo looked like to me.
Yeah.
It's
very
like,
economical.
Is there some like brush that comes out of their palm, whirring like that? So, but a lot of it is. The first thing is determining that you want to make those notes really even and working toward that. So on that second part of Billy Cheatham, making sure that that all of those notes are about the same volume.
Right. So I'm having trouble doing it, or giving them the proper amount of weight.
The proper balance. So it's easier for you if you're going to do that. It's easier to start loud.
Uh-huh.
because what's going to happen is it's going to jump out at you, the loud ones. So why not just make everything loud? And then once you get the motion and your hand knows where to go, then soften it. And that would be a good exercise for you. What I do when I play is I give myself exercises. I make up little exercises. And that would be a good one for you. So start off fairly loud. And then soften it up, but to keep the same attack. Just bring the volume back. It would sound like this.
Nice.
Cool. All right, Paul, what you got in there?
It was better earlier. It's better when you're on mute. That didn't quite end right.
There you go. You found your three blind mice right at the end. The beauty of this technique, and the reason that I like showing this the second fret, the open notes in the fifth string, is that in a G tune or an A tune, a lot of double D tunes, a lot of music can be found without moving above or below that fret. If you'll notice on this tune, you can play the whole of Shortening Bread. All on that second fret, and that means that when you're in a session and you don't really know the tune, you can find a lot of music by not moving around, you know. And like I said before, that's a benefit of these tunes going for 5 or 8 minutes, is that you can have the chance to experiment. But that gets you a big leg up on, you know, just knowing that a lot of those notes, you know, you can play along the chord along. It's like Susan knowing so many chords. You can if you hear the chords and the 1, the 4, and the 5, you can play through almost anything, can't you? So Paul, that sounded great. I want you to play it one more time now that you've actually played it. You've worked through it, and you remembered what we were doing.
It always takes that second.
For me too, brother.
I'm sorry?
I said for me too, brother.
Yes.
It's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Hey, Maria.
Yes.
Put something. Put some of you in this, because I know that a lot of these techniques you've been teaching for years. But put something in. Put something maybe like a little Kyle Creed lick or something, or a Galax lick.
You know how the only way I've done these Galax licks before is with a drawn out brush, like.
Dude, okay,
So
I want you to, play it through like that. Play it through like that, and we'll hone you in on the 3 note.
So, well, the way you just taught us is different for me, so, and I like that too. It's
Okay.
It's like
then I'm happy to hear that too.
like yeah.
Yeah.
So how did this go? And I've never played the rest of it. So how would I do it with this roll? can't do it 3 times in a row. Unless I leave out something before it.
That had a beautiful little bounce to it, and actually, I'm glad that you did that, because what you just did is you modeled what we all do when we're trying to figure something out. Because I love your internal dialogue actually became external, and I don't even think you realized you're doing it. But you were like, okay, so I do that, and then I have to go up like. So if you're going to do that slide and not do all on the second fret, go ahead and give full measure when you're doing the slide, and use that fifth string as what's saving you from going off the cliff. So and take your time doing the slide up like this.
I know that's not what you were doing.
Yeah. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm coming on the last bit of the previous phrase and doing that slide up. So it's what you're doing is perfectly valid, and it sounds great. But I'm coming on the end of that previous phrase and then doing a slide up, so it would be this.
Are you doing the fifth string?
I know what you're doing. I'm hitting an open first string, so it sounds like this.
Open first.
Open first. Yeah.
What are you sliding up on? Which string you're sliding up on?
First string.
Oh.
Yep.
So you're not using the fifth string there.
Not there.
Damn it. No. I don't want to pull off.
And when you said that, then I started putting the fifth string in. But no, before I was not putting the fifth string in at all. That brings us to something that's really important, which is when you're playing this sort of stuff, to be the master and mistress of your thumb. And sometimes having that drone string is great, but sometimes it's nice to just do a slide and not worry about putting a fifth string in at all. Mm-hmm. Hey, Gene, how you doing there? Oh, unmute.
There you go.
There you
now
go.
You can hear me. Yes.
You can.
Yes,
so,
dear.
Run what I was just talking about through the Gene filter.
The last thing I didn't really quite get was. That's it.
That's it.
And then that's all I can get.
Okay,
where do I go?
All right, so here's the way to find out that little brushy thing. Here's the note that you want to get to, and if you consider this the platform, it would be this. So instead of just hitting that single note, what I want you to do is I want you to go down on the second fret and slide up to the fifth fret like this. That's it. Do it again. Yes. Yeah.
I'm a banjo player.
Yeah, and then slide like this. Try just that much.
Way to go next.
And then you're going back down to the second fret. That's it. Cool. Now you know that at the end of what we do tonight, I will record everything we've done, so you can go back to the YouTube and you can look at everything we've done. So
Okay.
that leads me to
Including our mistakes.
it leads me to something that y'all need to know, which is adults are really bad about feeling this way. We want to be perfect at something right away. And if we're not, and like I've had students literally say, "Damn it, I've been trying this for 3 minutes." It is okay to not be perfect. Navajo weavers will intentionally leave a mistake in their blanket because the only thing perfect, they say, is God. So there's always a mistake there, and that's very humbling. But don't worry about whether something's perfect right away. We're very hard on ourselves, and I find teaching children are not scared of much of anything. They might not sound very good. But they are not much afraid of anything, and they'll reach for those stars. Adults, we have these tapes, and I don't know where these tapes are from, our childhood or our friends or just things that we've made up on our own. But don't listen to those tapes. Just go ahead and keep on trying. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It took me probably 3 or 4 months to learn how to do the claw hammer motion. I could not get it. And so when I teach a regular class, I always hope that there's a left-handed banjo player in it so I can borrow their banjo. But sometimes I can turn it around. So here is the instructor trying, and I'm going to try my best to do the claw hammer motion with my left hand. So yeah, I always remember that, and I try hard to not use the word "just" in anything I do when I teach, as in, oh, just do this, because this is not instinctive. So y'all are doing great. You're doing great. Hey Donna, I'm gonna go ahead and mute Ms. Can I call you two? iPad 2? Can I call you 2 for short?
So you call me 2. Call me 2. I was a twin, so you can call me 2. I was the second of the twin.
All right. Ms. Donna.
Yes.
What's in your head about what you want to play? Because we've probably actually worked on this technique before.
Yeah, what I tried to do, like, there's 2 A parts, right? So yeah. I tried to do how you first taught it, and then the second way.
Cool.
So, I don't know. I can't do it now. I'm making it hard on myself. So I tried to combine them.
Did you see your instructor grin?
No, I was watching my hand.
Focused. Well, I was smiling because you're doing exactly. You have such a lovely right hand.
Oh, thank you.
Really
thank you. Yeah, so I was trying to switch it up a little bit. So.
Cool. hey, Sean, I haven't forgotten you. Come back to us. And how's it going?
Good. I'm listening and I'm learning. I hope.
All right. Let me hear some of that. Let me hear some of that right hand, that claw hammer. Yeah, yeah. There's a football game with the sound turned off in your future.
Okay, we're working on that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna show you, and that's the thing. These classes, they go so quick, but it's why I like having the recording where you can refer back to it. So we had talked about the hammer-on. I am gonna show you a little bit of the Galax lick. And so what I want you to do is I want you to well, first I'll play it for you, and then I'll tell you how to do it. It sounds a lot harder than it is, and the way we do it is we build it a few notes at a time. So I want you to take your index finger, and I want you to anchor that index finger on the first string, second fret. And so and then I want you to just play only play the second, the open second string, the closed first string, and the fifth string, and I want it to sound like this. Try just that much. Let it ring. It doesn't have to. But it's open, first, fifth, second, first, fifth. Now it is your good fortune or your bad fortune that this stuff I love this stuff, and so I could do this for like an hour. I just get lost in it. We won't do it for an hour, of course, but so I want you to do these three notes and then the open first string. It would sound like this. Try just that much. 3, 4. Try it again. Try it again. That's good. We're gonna go on and do a pull-off, and so it will sound like this. Try just that much. 3, 4. Try that again. 3, 4. 3, 4. Now we're going to go on and we're going to double that. And let me show you and then we'll do it. 3, 4. So we'll do that 3 times. 1, 2, 3, 2 pull-offs. So I'm going to do the whole thing, and I'm going to do it slow, and I'm going to do it a bunch of times, and I want you to jump it on. Try it, and if it comes out sounding like this, that's okay. But what we're aiming for is open second, closed first, fifth. And I'll call it in like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. All right, right quick. Donna Feldman, just play a little bit for me.
Of that song?
Yeah, just that Galax lick.
Uh,
Good, good, you got it.
Thank you.
Bruce, what through your filter? What would it be?
I'm sorry.
Run it through the Bruce filter. What would it sound like?
I'll try.
All right. Spot on. Spot on. A little stumble at the start. You caught yourself and then you ran the race.
Yeah, it's hard to get.
It is. It's weird to get it down in there, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the only thing that's going to improve that is time. And so don't worry about it. Don't. But what I want you to be thinking about on the bluegrass side. Some slide that you would put instead of always using the Galax.
Yeah, it's a cool blue Scruggs tune because it's got a lot of banjo.
Absolutely.
Banjo speak.
Absolutely. And in the platform, instead of always doing the, you could alternate with a. You can alternate going back and forth. So cool.
It's hard getting in time with that. Finding that note.
But you're hearing it. Yeah, and that's the key is knowing where you need to be. And like I say, it doesn't have to be perfect right away.
Yeah, that's great. I like that. It's cool.
Cool. Hey, Gene. Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see if I can remember.
That is a beautiful platform, Gene. All right, so what I want you to do, that is a great platform. So what I want you to do, is I want you to anchor your index finger on the first string, second fret. Now I want you to do that open second string. I want you to do everything you did, but just do proceed from. Try that much. Up, keep your finger anchored there on the first string. Just mash it down and don't move it.
Right.
Now go open second string and closed first string. That's it. And so that beautiful platform that you did.
Is that it?
That's what you'll continue. And I'll go slow on that one.
Oh, someone's calling. Sorry. No one can call me tonight.
I thought you were jamming out.
Can't call me during a banjo lesson.
That's it.
It's a friend of mine telling me she liked my soup.
Well, that makes me want to soup.
Beef barley.
All right. As I'm teaching this tune, Gene.
No, leave that there.
As I'm teaching this tune, I'm going to show you where you're getting a little balled up. You're doing great.
Okay, good.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, Paul.
Tell me. Where's Paul?
There you go.
that's supposed to end.
That's it. You caught yourself. It was all on the second fret, but that's great. That's and Bruce was right. It's hard to sort of slip down into and start everything there on the open second string. It's like my big old mitt. It's like, what?
Right.
You mean there? Ah, good job.
Thank you.
All right, Maria Fairchild.
Am I off? I'm
You are.
Yeah. Okay. I always thought that's like, you can call that a drag too. If you're doing two downstrokes
Yes.
in a row, it is hard to get the timing exactly right. But then when I was doing that, I started doing something else. It's still a Galax something or other, I guess.
What? That would just be from the other side of Galax. That's very Wade Ward.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, as we've been talking, you know, Kyle Creed was a monster banjo player, a banjo maker as well. Uncle Wade Ward, who played for years and years with the Bog Trotters around Galax. Players today, Bill Mansfield is a wonderful, wonderful banjo player who used to live in around Surrey County. Marcia Todd plays that Galax stride where it's not a whole lot of, it's not as notey, but it's so much drive in the right hand that it is literally like the perfect banjo to play with a fiddle. It's so propulsive and so great. So, Susan, give us a little something through your filter, and then I'll record, and then also I'll take a couple of questions before we ring off. The other thing before I forget it, thank you to the Bluegrass Club of Long Island, and thank you for letting me come and be with my new friends and some old friends too, and thank you for all you're doing to get folks playing music and making connections, because this has been a hard time, and I appreciate it from my side more than I can tell you. And I'll be back next week doing guitar and songs and ways to make your guitar your duet partner a little bit, and some tips and techniques to make your guitar playing a little more interesting as you practice and play. So, Susan, what you got over there?
Okay. I did that. Or something like that.
Well, do it one more time, and don't apologize even a little bit, because that was cool as hell. Do it again. Don't think about it, just do it. I exult, because really and truly that is a really cool right hand. And the other thing is that you played all the notes that I was playing. You just you had a different workaround. You know, Doc Watson did not really play clawhammer as much, but it sounded like clawhammer. But when you saw him, he was doing much more picking. And in Western North Carolina and in Eastern North Carolina, 2-finger picking and 3-finger picking. It's why Earl Scruggs became Earl Scruggs, because that was the 2 and 3-finger picking. That's what he heard.
Right.
I mean, can you imagine the excitement of Earl Scruggs as an 11-year-old figuring out that roll? You know, he did it on Old Reuben, which is a great old it's just an old tune that went on both sides, old time and later bluegrass. Matter of fact, when I had my changing, it was an epiphany for me that showed me what I wanted to play and how I wanted to play. It was when Fred Cochran would play and he would go from fingerpicking Reuben to frailing Reuben. And life as I knew it changed at that very moment. So very cool. Shall I any questions before I record this Sean?
Can you just talk for a few minutes just about the hand, the claw hand itself? Do you use your fingers? Do you keep it steady? Do how do you use that?
Well, I'm not going to. Here's how I do it, and that's the only thing I can do. I do approach it as I hold my banjo, and I'm pretty much. I mean, you can see on my banjo where I strike. A friend of mine calls it the angel. It appears on every one of my banjos. That's where I strike. I strike up here and I go down. So this is always a little longer than up here. But I take my hand and I use it pretty much as a unit, pivoting from my elbow, but not too much. I don't do my wrist because I always worried about wearing it out. But I that first note, that bum note, some people will say, oh, you should always strike that with your index finger. And some people say, oh, you should always strike, the banjo, that first note and other notes with your middle finger. I can do both. But what I tend to do is I strike my first string solely with my middle finger. I strike the other strings with my index finger. And so it's sort of like a little dance my hand is doing. In fact, the only time my first finger ever touches the first string is if I'm doing one of those licks, the Galax licks. That's the only time my index finger touches the first string. But that's me, and I run away, turn and run when somebody says, "Oh, you only do it like that." It all works. We play banjo the way we need to. So that's my soapbox on that.
Well, Joe, thank you so much. Do you want to play something out for us?
Well, I'll play that tune, and then I'll play something just for my own use. How about that?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna set the platform for that for that shortening bread, and I'm gonna do it a number of ways. Y'all keep in mind that no matter what I'm doing, I am just as happy with this. Pull off. know, Gene, I'm talking to you. And back. Big finish. Cool. And I'll play a little bit of Tommy Jarrell's, a little my take on Tommy Jarrell's take on shortening bread. It's different but the same. And with that go my thanks. And I'll play that for a couple of times through, and then we'll say goodbye. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Thank you so much, Joe.
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks, Joe.
See you later. Wear
Thanks
your
for again.
masks.
Wear your mask, Seth.
Wear your masks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
And thank you for the Babylon Citizens Council of the Arts. Please go to their website and donate if you can. If you can't, well then go practice your banjo. Make some money and then donate. All right. Paul, thank you so much.